Time for patch review 2.4. Alright, in patch 2.4, Yorick got a lot of changes. One change he got is that maiden bug got fixed, so now you cannot summon 2 maidens, any stuff like that. They changed how the art casting works. It won't affect the actual gameplay, it's just they made it so that there's no inconsistencies with it, and there's no bug you can abuse with maiden, right? They added a few new things as well. One, maiden gets ghosting for units now, so as you can see. Oh fuck. It's walking through the raptors. You can demonstrate it again at some minions, and we'll show it walking through some minions. As you can see, it goes straight from minions. But you can see its pathing is still really weird. Apparently you can also go for structures. I've tried it many times. It doesn't work. It just tries to path around it instead, which is really disappointing. I thought it would just float past. But Maiden does have Ghost now, so it won't get blocked or by any like minions and stuff. And that's overall just a really good change. Yeah. Now that we got all the Yorick news out of the way, let's go through the matchups and the champions that actually do matter against Yorick. So Renato, first of all, is going to be a very strong champion against Yorick. Yorick has no mobility, as we know. Renato has a nice time hitting those skill shots. Her W is going to be really just annoying to deal with, full stop. Champion seems very strong. Her ult also works against ghouls and maiden, meaning if she ults you and it hits the ghouls and maiden, they'll start hitting you as well, right? That's not very good. Now this is the first big change. Aatrox Q does a lot more damage, so that means he's going to be able to do just more damage in general, full stop with the Qs. In this matchup, we should be trying to dodge this sweet spot anyways, so you should be trying to get in his meat, maybe right outside his range. It's going to be perfectly fine, right? But now if he ever hits it, it's ever so slightly more punishing, so you have to have your movement a little bit better. Still a good matchup, it'll be fun, just don't make any mistakes, yeah? Now Dr. Mondo, to be completely honest, I think Dr. Mondo is just a very shit champion, full stop. So the fact that it's getting nerfed is even better for us, I guess. He never was a hard matchup, we just ran him down. He didn't have enough damage, he didn't have enough tankiness to survive us. We get grievous wounds and we get a % health damage, and he just gets absolutely ripped apart. The next champion, Illaoi, is a really interesting one. Illaoi is generally a good matchup just because ghouls and maiden can block her E. I know it is a bit buggy, I know I've seen some people complain about it. I haven't played against it in a while, but it should still be a very good matchup. These are actually kind of big changes. The attack speed buff helps her use her W more quicker, which lets her slam her tentacles, and this does more damage. It's gonna hurt a bit more. This is a bit scary because level 1, Illaoi can actually learn W and fight, like just bully you around. But overall, it should still be a good matchup. You can poke with ghouls, there's nothing you can really do about it. Just dodge your E, you'll be fine, yeah? The next two are Kalista and Lucian. Now, I'm actually kind of scared of Kalista being buffed, because if Kalista ever comes back to a solo lane, remember when she went single blade and she just was a top laner? It was probably one of the worst Yorick matchups ever, right? Because you cannot hit your E, your W is useless, and you can never get to the position where you can get your Q onto her because she's just too mobile, right? Hopefully we won't see any Kalistas. The patch has been out for a few days and I haven't played against her, so thank gosh, right? If she becomes meta in bot lane, it's going to suck for us as well, because obviously she's very mobile, yeah? If she does become meta, I predict Prowler's Claw is going to be a very good option against her. Lucian Q mana decrease. He's not that much of a common top laner anymore, but him coming to the meta in combination with the Nami buff is really scary. Nami Lucian, as we know, is one of the strongest early game snowball like sort of bot laners in the game, and if Lucian, you know, Nami comes back, it's gonna suck for us. But let's just pray that they don't, you know. Overall, I think this is way too small changes to matter, so we should be fine, yeah? Now, Nico is a very interesting one. A lot of people think this is a small buff. A hitbox change is absolutely ridiculous. We're gonna have a lot harder time landing the E, the W, everything like that. And the W buff is actually massive. This brings up the on-hit W buff. The W buff brings like on-hit a lot more, just because she can max it a lot more happily, just because the cooldown goes to very small, 12 seconds. Nico's actually a pretty bad matchup for us, just because she can use the ghouls to E you to stun you for a really long time. But we should be fine. Yeah, we should be fine. So I am a bit worried, because her also counters us as well, because we have to stay away from her, but we want to be on her to use her Q, right? So this is really nice. Him having less health overall makes him less tanky, and we can just beat him up a little bit easier. Of course, it doesn't change the fact it's gonna fuck us up over, because you can just Q our maiden and just one-shot it. But any nerf to the champions that beat us is always nice. Now Kiana is really fucking broken. I'm glad she's getting more nerfs. The reason she's so broken is because she can just spam her green Q, and her burst is just absolutely bonkers. It's pretty much undodgeable. I don't know why she can EQ and guarantee the Q pretty much. It just tracks you. But hey, nice, got nerfs on her. Overall, Kiana, unless she's stupidly fair, she's not even that bad of a matchup. She's just really annoying to play against. She can use your own W against you. It's pretty rough, yeah? Rumble, armor buff. It's gonna suck for us, but we've always beaten Rumble, so we'll be fine. Set buff is really scary, but it's a small buff, so it doesn't matter that much. But set is generally a very bad matchup for Yorick, just because of the fact that he can use your ghouls against you to stun you, and use the poke you get from the ghouls and maiden to get a more bigger W, right? And the reason I hate this matchup is because good sets will just grab your maiden and just beat it up and there's no counterplay, or grab you, beat it up and there's no counterplay, right? How you beat set is you wait out his W, then you fight him, and you start off to cut him in and out. But if the set's good, you'll never get that position. That's why I hate this matchup, yeah? So this is a bit scary, but thank God it's only a small buff. It's not too big of an issue. We're good to go. Vega nerf, good. I don't know why they buffed him last patch. Less armor is gonna be really nice for us, so we can just do more burst damage to him. Perfect, you know. E cooldown decrease is massive. I cannot overstate this. It's already one of the strongest skills in the entire game, just because it just blocks out entire areas similar to Yorick Cage. So the fact that this is getting a nerf is really nice. I'm happy with it. Should be good for us, yeah. More downtime of, you know, the ability that just completely fucks us over. Don't care. I don't really. This is a lot of changes, but I think in general this should be a Zeri nerf, which is really good. Now, ever since Zeri's been released, I've pretty much permabanned her, because Zeri is without a doubt the worst matchup for Yorick the entire game. Her Q one-shots the cage. Her Q one-shots all of the ghouls. You can hit multiple ghouls and one-shots all of them. And it's a spammable skill and there's no counterplay. And her little passive where she throws the little slug of shit at you, which slows you, hurts. It chunks. And there's pretty much no counterplay because it's instant, right? So that's really nice. It's getting nerfed. Everything's getting nerfed really nicely, yeah? So this should be a pretty good matchup. Her E is also getting nerfed, which is really nice. I didn't notice that. So one thing good Zeris do is they constantly sit on a wall, and if you ever try to engage, they just run away. It's really annoying, right? So it's good nerfs overall. This should be pretty good for us, yeah. I still think it's a really bad matchup just because of the interactions of her Q and ghouls and wall, but it makes it a little bit more manageable, which is the really important part, yeah. Rejuve B doesn't matter. We never started ourselves. The champions that did it against us, like Akali, they were good matchups anyways, because we can just all in them in one combo and just kill them. So, it's okay, it's whatever of a change. The income stuff kind of sucks, because I think this will lead to us seeing Janna tops and stuff like that less. We've always countered those sort of strategies where they leave lane, because we can get so much money, right? We can just get plates for free and we snowball off that. So, the fact that we're seeing Janna top less and Janna top less and the roaming strat, it's gonna suck for us, but hey, now you don't have to deal with your teammates complaining about top lane every single game. Objective bounties, this is pretty bad, because you can, because if you're behind, you get like 1 billion bounties in like after a fight and get a lot of money, but now it's gonna fall off a lot faster. Kind of sucks, not that big of a change, it's alright. And that is it for patch 12.4. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. What are your thoughts on the thing? I've played a few games against Renata. I really fucking hate her. Her W's really frustrating to play against. Her ult's absolutely ridiculous. I thought her ult was actually originally going to be a lot weaker, but it does a fuckload of damage. And it gives a fuckload of utility. The CC is really long, and it does a lot of damage in against a few champions. For example, if you have a Jax Assassin in your team, it'll fucking smash your head in, right? So it's a bit rough, but hey. Have a good night, fellas, and good luck, and stay safe, right?